Alrighty, folks. Hi, Lord Tamerlane, back with more Shadows of Brimstone-y goodness. This time, we're going to take a look at the sumo wrestlers. So one thing I've been noticing is I'm digging through my giant pile of plastics and cards and counters and everything else in the box. We are definitely going to be seeing, it looks like, the male and female alternate heroes, I guess, or for what lack of a better word. It looks like we're going to have both gender heroes on sprues from now on, which is actually kind of a cool little deal, I think. So, our sumo is the first of our 40mm based heroes. First, and hopefully not the last, so you can see. Here's the new base for the 40mm, and obviously, yep, he's a lot smaller. This is the resin special samurai model they had. It's basically the same thing if you haven't seen it. It's just he's lacking the little crest on the top of his helmet. So, let's check out our sumos. So, just like some of the other hero classes we've looked at so far, there's a lot crisper, clearer, sharper details in what we're looking at. So you can see the individual folds a lot more clearly, and all of the little bandoliers and sashes and extra flash and flare on their bodies is a lot more noticeable, which I think is an absolute plus. So, I believe this is the female body. Yes, so she's one solid piece, which is kind of nice. She's big. I mean, she's really big. I mean, obviously, she's not on a base, but considering she doesn't have her limbs on her and she's already almost as large as a fully armored samurai man, that's pretty impressive. So this looks like the rear part of the... It's not fundoshi. Fundoshi is the underwear thing. I don't remember what these things are called. I'll ask the kids. They might know. So we have separate hands. I'm assuming you have nice, easy, identifiable spots to glue them to. Back of the male samurai, you can see where... Sumo, you can see where his sword's going to go. And... well, we've got his bare legs there. I don't know if I'm going to want to paint those, so, well, I probably will. I believe that's the female head. And the male head, and looks like the female has clothed, sleeved arms, whereas the male has his big flabby hands. So I'm looking forward to painting him. I'm probably going to use him as my first hero when I bust out Brimstone for Forbidden Fortress. But you know what else I'm going to bust out? The Clippers, and I'm going to get these guys built, and we're going to take a look at how they actually compare to the rest of the hero models so far. I'll be back. All right, we got our sumos here. Let's start with our female sumo. So you can see she's actually dressed. She's still quite a large lady. She's armed with a knife for the moment, but we all know how a Shadows of Brimstone game goes. She's going to have about 15 other weapons by the time things are done, along with who knows how many mutations. So she doesn't really want to stand up right now. I probably need to trim some more flash off of her feet. Again, she's on a 40mm base. Let's see if I can get that a little bit higher, just to get you guys a better look. What does that mean compared to a regular Shadows of Brimstone? So here is a terribly painted saloon girl from the original game. And you can see in terms of size, yeah, she's definitely bigger. She takes up a good amount of real estate on the base. You know, I'm a big, I don't know, demanding in that regard. I like to have my characters, if they're going to be on a big base, they better fill that big base. Otherwise, don't bother. So she does take up a good amount of real estate. I'm happy about that. And why don't we see how the male stacks up? So, again, she's still bigger than the regular Western men. And here is our male. Now, our male, I feel like he doesn't have as clearly of defined facial features. And I don't know, you know, maybe a good wash will help show that up. I know I put way too much glue, so no comments on that. But that's okay. We can clean it up later. And, I mean, it was a simple build. I like how they use the little dangly bits of his uniform outfit to kind of mask where the mold lines are. Why he doesn't have a shirt, I don't know. Seems kind of silly. Very long sword. And he's actually bigger than the female. I mean, he's grossly larger than original females from Brimstone. Let's see how he stacks up with the males. And even with the samurai, I guess he's not as tall as the samurai. Well, maybe he is. Big guy. I'm really looking forward to playing him. I'm really curious how his movement and space on the board is going to affect things. I'm also looking forward to, once I finally get sick of playing Shadows of Brimstone, how these characters are going to end up in games like Test of Honor or Ronin or whatever. I'll probably Sengoku Monster Hunter once I can figure out how to get the computations to work for 28, 30 millimeter board game size instead of 15. That'll be a big challenge unless somebody out there can point me in a good direction or has already done the work themselves. So, very cool class. Very nice looking. I'm really excited to see how they play. We'll leave her there. I'm going to just glue her down later. But the one thing that saddens me about these figures is their whole Kickstarter exclusiveness. I'm not a fan of that, and I really hope that later on down the line, maybe Flying Frog will reevaluate things and reconsider putting stuff on the market, because it seems like, if they're going to go to the length to make these in actual plastic rather than resin, why not go all the way and let everybody have access to it? I say wait a few years maybe, release them later on down the line. I don't know. I'm not the expert. I know some Kickstarter backs would be like, oh, that's sacrilegious, that's heresy, how dare you release things that you said were only for us. But I'm of the mind that the more people that get a hold of it, the more people are going to enjoy it, and the more people are going to help keep the game running. She does not want... There we go. So you can see her. I think she's a little bit more clearly defined than her male counterpart. I don't know if I should do some kind of no type makeup, or I don't know what we're going to do with her painting wise, but I'm going to get started soon on that. So those are the sumos from Forbidden Fortress, or Shadows of Brimstone Forbidden Fortress. And you can see how they stack up there compared to some of the regular figures. Let's see if I can zoom it back out a little bit. She just does not want to stay up right now. Man. Good enough, I guess. In case you're curious with a typical GW figure, yeah, he's definitely got some size on his friends there. Let's let everybody join in. Come on down, folks. Why is there Wild West Exodus figure there? I have no idea. Oh, I should totally grab that Nakano Gozen figure and see how she stacks up, because she's on a 40mm base, and she seems a lot bigger because she's a Wild West Exodus figure too. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to start looking at how I'm going to paint these guys, and hopefully you found this useful, informative, interesting, boring, whatever the case may be. Hit that subscribe button, because that's what my kids said you're supposed to do. Hit the like buttons, hit buttons all over the screen. Push buttons, because pushing buttons is fun. And I will be back soon with more Shadows of Brimstone goodness, and hopefully some other things too, because there's plenty of other games. I rolled 2 swords. That said, this is High Lord Tamberlane saying see you later. Bye-bye.